I don't know about you, but I can never have too many compressor plugins. And this compressor plugin is one to add to the arsenal. All right, I probably have 1,000 compressor plugins, hardware units, everything in between 1176s, LA2As, we got them all. But what's one compressor plugin that has something very special to it? It's definitely this plugin. Let's get into it. Plugin of the week, Vulf Compressor by Goodheartz. Let's rock.
Stop flashing me!
All right, so today I'm going to be showing you the Vulf Compressor from Goodheartz. I think it's an incredible plugin, and like any plugin of the week that I do, I'm not going to get into massive detail about the features and exactly what they do. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. I'm going to show you how I use it, what I love to do with it, and you can kind of go read the damn manual. Stop being a baby.
I'm not a baby. I am a man.
And before I get into it, just like the video, drop a comment, show some love so I can keep making videos like this for you guys. All right, so let's get into it. I just threw up some drums from Contact, just 70s drummer. I'm going to turn off the compressor. I'll show you the loop real quick, and then we'll turn on the compressor and I'll show you the features and what we got going on here. Oh yeah, disco funk, baby. Everybody likes a little disco funk in their lives.
If these trends continue, hey!
So here is the Vulf Compressor. Now, when you open it, it's going to look like this. A lot of people don't even know about the fact that these three dots is the advanced controls. The advanced controls is where it's at. This is like where this thing, you can really make it sing. But if you're just looking at it like this, you have a few things that are a little confusing right off the bat. The GUI, the actual user interface, does not look pretty. It just looks like some kid like designed this 0101 AB blah, 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 and like spit out a code and was like, there you go, sick. But Goodheartz is a dope company, and this plugin, I guarantee you, is being used on some of your favorite records you've ever heard. Promise you, it's awesome. All right, so let's get into what this thing does. So we have a bunch of different stuff here. The input, obvious, right? Input gain. You can hover over these, you can see what they are. Compression, compression amount. Wow.
Wow.
Huh, wow and flutter amount. Interesting. Lo-fi, lo-fi amount. Output, output gain. Great. Sounds good. Let's reset everything. This is how it's gonna be looking when you got it all reset. I would just option click this stuff. So option click all the things. This is what you get. Vulf. This is the important one. The master mix of what you have. Is it dry completely, or is it Vulfen? Is it Wolfenstein and Heimann?
Ja, genau. Das sind Sonnenblumenkernbrötchen.
Oh, geez. So when I turn this up 100%, you're 100% compression, right? 100% the Vulf. It's what this thing does. If you're dry, it's 0% of anything, okay? Now, another thing I want to make sure you understand is this is the lo-fi noise gain. When you open this plugin up for the first time, you initialize it, the noise is on. So if you don't like noise in your plugins, turn it off automatically. Okay, now let's hear it in action, and I want to explain this Vulf and the compression and what they're doing, all right? But I'm gonna let you just hear it because that's way easier than like telling you what it does. So what you're hearing here are the different features of this plugin. And what we have is the compression amount. To me, this is like saying how much compression, threshold, ratio, percentage, you know, are you pushing? As far as Vulf goes, you gotta just think of this as like a wet and dry knob for the overall plugin, not for the compression. Okay, so you're not like, it's not like a wet dry for like compression amount. Like if you were using an API 2500 or, you know, a Logic stock compressor, it's not a wet dry knob for the compression. It's literally feels like, to me, it's like a wet dry knob for the whole thing, for everything this plugin is doing. So the compression amount and the Vulf kind of work together. Now the wow, the lo-fi, what you'll notice with the wow is it's all just like wow and flutter, tape machine kind of stuff. And if you open up the advanced stuff, you're going to notice that it actually has a wow advanced, right? So you have a mix. So you can actually mix in, 100%, or you can start to back off it. There's a phase where you can go 360 degrees out of phase, or you can do 180 degrees or 0. And then the coolest thing is there's actually a speed for the wow flutter, right? So there's 33.3 RPM, which is like record, right? 33, a 45 RPM, and a 78. So you got these different speeds of records, vinyl records, which I think is really cool. I thought that was a cool vibe to do.
Is it chill if I chill right here? I just want to make sure it's chill.
And then under the advanced, you also have the lo-fi noise. You can turn it way up. You can turn up the crunch, right? For the noise. So you can turn this way up on the noise. You can turn it down. Like say you have too much noise as you start to compress and stuff and you want to make up for it. Like right now, if I go all the way up with the compressor, you hear the noise, right? If I take this, I can scale down the lo-fi noise. And another thing that's cool about this is you have analog and you have different types of noise. 1990s digital, 1980s digital, analog. So I thought that was pretty cool. The analog sounds like it's mainly like, tape noise. And then 1990s digital is probably, digital DAT recorders, and probably, ADATs, stuff like that for 1980s. 1990s might even be cassette. I don't know what it's based on. But then you have a crunch as well. So there's a lo-fi crunch, and you can hear it just turning up the noise. So turning the noise off turns all of that off. And you have the wow flutter speed. You can take that, turn that up, and then you can mess around with the phase here. You can mess around with the speeds, etc. So if you want to get that like warbly sampled sound that is like so popular in trap music, that's how you get that. And that's really cool. And then you have a sidechain. If you don't know what sidechain is, you should just look it up. You can get your sidechain input here. You can use sidechain compression. You can also, like this is for an external sidechain, and you can blend in how much of the sidechain you want, which I think is pretty cool because that way you're saying like only want it to like, sidechain and look at the sidechain so much. And you can get like that pumping effect, that sidechain pumping effect, but maybe you just have like a little bit of it rather than it going poof, 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 poof. Now it's just going whoop, 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 like just a little bit, right? And then you have the tilt of the sidechain. I'm not really sure what this does, but yeah, try it out. You use your ears, pretty easy. And then a digital reference level. This is all, under the hood stuff, but know that the high quality being on or off is usually off when you turn on the plugin. So if you want it more high quality, turn that on. All right. And now let's mess around with some of these advanced features on these drums to kind of show you what they're going to do as you compress and you mess around with noise and you mess around with all that stuff. And let's get these drums really sounding like they're coming off of 1970s old school 1-inch tape. You know what I mean? And that's why I love the Vulf compressor, is you can literally noise shape and sound design drums, bass guitars, vocals, and synthesizers, all sorts of stuff. And it does so much more than just what a regular compressor does, right? So hopefully you got a lot out of that, and you're considering the Vulf compressor if you haven't already been rocking with it, because it's a phenomenal plugin. I think I find the most use out of this when I'm trying to go for like sync records where they're like, yeah, we want like that 1970s feel or the 60s vibe, or like, you know, kind of a dated sound you want to manipulate and, you know, give something some warble, give it some like old school classic feel. That's what you're going to get out of this plugin, especially on drums, like if you're going to do that. And the very last thing I'm just going to show you before we wrap up here is I'm just going to show you some presets, right? Like here's a bunch of different presets that come with it. It's all stock. You got effects, old school crunch. You got Tiago's golden age of samplers. You know, you can like do like 1200 crunch, the SBL 1200, you know, really popular back in, actually not too long ago, really. But, you know, let's check some of these out on these drums. I mean, that's so musical, right? Just kind of gives it a little boost in the low end, rolls off some of that shit that you don't like on the top, you know? Sweet. And I'll flip through a couple more for you. So that's it. Really fun plugin. I think you get lost in this for hours. It's finding its way on a lot of records that I'm working on right now. And the Vulf Compressor from Goodheartz, go check out their other plugins as well. I think it's a great company, and they don't bog you down with all the gooey, you know, looking all cool. It's just very straightforward sliders. That's all it is. So if you guys like this, hopefully you share it with someone. I also got a little freebie in the link in the description for you. I got 5 channel strips that I've designed from the ground up just for free for you. Whether you use Logic Pro or Pro Tools, got some freebies there. So click on those, go grab them, and let's connect deeper. Have fun with it. Compress